I broke my keyboard a few days ago. I was playing Type Racer and got a bit rough with it. I thought the switch went all the way into the board, but it was just a spring in the switch that got stuck. Originally, I was going to buy a new set of switches, but I figured that I don't want to wait for the shipping and don't want to risk the new switch not being able to fit the board. So my plan is to switch out the broken K to one of the F keys on the top row that I barely touched. It's not like that it's completely broken, it just doesn't jump back up from time to time. I went to Home Depot and was going to pick up the cheapest soldering iron in store, but saw that one row above has a kit that includes the solder wire and a few extra heads, so I went home with this one. I've never opened up a keyboard before, but it doesn't seem to be that complicated. I unscrewed all the screws that I could find, lifted out the board, and found the PCB. So all you have for a keyboard is the circuit board, the wire connected to the USB, and a whole bunch of keycaps. I'm not a pro at soldering and haven't soldered anything since grade 8's curriculum, but quick words of warnings here. This soldering iron is extremely hot, so stay focused at all time. Do not talk to people while soldering and don't drop it or play with the iron. Be extra careful if you're doing this at home. With that being said, I changed the head of the iron to a thinner one and let's plug it in. It takes a few minutes to heat up. Again, I'm not a professional in this field and all I'm trying here is to push the lead to the side so I can pull out the switch. I don't have a switch puller, so there was a lot of wiggling and a little bit of that force while taking the switch out. I found the switch to look rather interesting since it was the first time I'd taken one out and look at it this close. So after I swapped K key and F2, I soldered them back on the board. Okay, so I just plugged it in and it works now with the K. I'm not sure if it's the wiggling and stuff that my broken switch doesn't seem to be as broken anymore. The switch can go back to its high position. It's still a little bit wonky though. So now that everything works, I screwed the board back in and put on the keycaps. It took me a good while to look for the missing C, but it was just on my desk in my blind spot all along. Anyways, putting on the last missing piece and my keyboard is back and complete. Even though I have a functioning keyboard now, there's still a few things that I need to reflect. First of all, I just want to say that I was only brave enough to perform the surgery on this one because the keyboard is cheap and I can just throw it away if the project failed. If you have a high-end expensive keyboard, I would suggest to give it to the professional or just send it back to the factory if it's still under warranty. But the biggest takeaway for me was that I spent 3 hours and $40 on fixing my anger, and the sad thing is, even if you break your keyboard, your typing speed still won't improve. So don't take the frustration out on your keyboard if you lose a game or something just doesn't work out. In fact, you will need a good functioning one to improve. So treat it with love and care as your precious desk partner.